Hi everyone, welcome back to Homemade by Jenny. Today I'll be showing you how to make a simple kimchi soup for dinner. It's just that the weather has been a bit cold and rainy today, so I skipped and opted out for kimchi soup instead of spaghetti carbonara. Let's get started. These are all the ingredients you'll pretty much need. I made bone broth earlier this week, so now we have some to use. I just need kimchi, some silken tofu, and an egg. Let's get started. First thing, I'm gonna turn on my stove and then going to add in my bone broth that I made earlier this week. Probably won't be using all of it just because there is another dish. I guess we'll just use all of it since I just scoop in all this out. Now I'm just adding all the broth in. If you feel that there's not enough broth, you can just add additional water, just a little bit. But I think this should be enough for us here. After the broth, all I'm going to do is add in the kimchi at the same time because I actually like my kimchi's a little bit more ripened. So when you're buying, make sure you choose the box that's a little bit, if you see the Napa cabbage, it's a bit more yellowy or golden if you want to put it. The lighter color kimchi means it's more fresh and it hasn't ripened as much. But for this particular soup, I think it's best if you actually use ripened kimchi. So in this case, I'm going to be adding in probably about a quarter to a third of this container here. So basically to my broth, I'm just going to add the kimchi directly in. What's best about this is you get some of the kimchi juice from the container. That juice has actual flavor, and the kimchi has a slight tartness as well when it's fermented. So give this soup very, very nice. And this with a bowl of rice on a rainy day or a cold day like this, honestly, nothing really beats it. I'm also gonna see if I can get some of the juice in there. Oh, this one didn't. This one's not very juicy, so I couldn't get very much out, but that's okay. Once I've added the kimchi, I'm just gonna bring this up to a boil and then put a lid on and turn it down to medium, just to simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes. The reason being is I want the kimchi to soften and also the flavors to work together with the broth and absorb into the bone as well. So when you eat the meat later, it's got some really nice flavor to it. You can see the broth coming up to a boil now. I'm actually just gonna put the lid on it and then turn it down to medium heat and just let it simmer away. I just change out the lid so that you can see that it's still simmering away in there, the kimchi soup. Okay, when the soup has been boiling for 10 to 15 minutes, I'm actually just gonna open up the lid and then I'm gonna add in the tofu, and then next we'll be checking the seasoning. So I have here silken tofu. I've actually only just used half a pack just because my soup is overflowing already in this pot. So add the tofu and try to wedge it into the soup so it gets flavor. I'm also gonna crack it in my egg. So I like to crack in one egg when I cook this. That's it. Okay, that's done. Just gonna add the lid back on and let it cook for a few minutes, and then I will season it to taste. When the soup has been boiling for a couple more minutes and you can see that the eggs are starting to cook and the tofu has had time to work in with the flavors of the kimchi soup, now I'm actually just going to taste it and to see the seasoning, and then I'm just going to add the chicken, the premium bouillon powder. I like the tartness very much. Okay, just a little bit here. Just into here. Just to season. Mix it up a little bit. Very nice. At this point it's pretty much done, but because I still got a little time before dinner, I'm just going to leave it to simmer for a couple more minutes and then I'm going to turn it off. Put the lid back on, let it simmer for a few more minutes to work together, and then it's ready to serve. Okay, now that the soup has gotten a couple more minutes to boil, it's pretty much ready to serve. Enjoy, everyone. If you like my recipe, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel for more future recipes like this. Thank you and have a good night, everyone.